Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last episode for this season of the Challenge Era 40. I'm Maddie. That is Mariama. How are you, friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to help our beautiful, wonderful podcast.
I gotta raise my
We also have a playlist up about Love is Blind and coming soon forth, henceforth. We will
coming
be
soon.
coming soon. I don't know why I said henceforth. We will be watching other things, including The Traders US. So look out for that.
Season 3, yeah.
Season 3, yes. We ready to start?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Get us started.
Well, this was the last episode of this season of the challenge, which was the second half of the final because we had a 2-day final. We had the rest of the checkpoints today. We finally tallied up or counted in the karma points, and then we awarded our prizes. And there was what I'm perceiving to be a little bit of a surprise. I don't know if there's ever been a tie before.
I
And that
think
was
I
interesting.
think CJ said the first time ever.
Well,
For
I
for the
don't
first
remember
time
that.
in challenge history.
Oh my gosh. And so we had we had us, I don't know how many checkpoints we had today, but
Uh
of
3,
course all of them,
4.
thank you. All of them as usual involved swimming. So
I
poor
mean,
Kyland.
3 new ones. The first one was just a wrapping up of the coins.
Oh yes, oh my goodness. So I guess that's where we should start is
Yeah,
wrapping up
let's
of the
let's start right
coins.
there.
So the coin situation was nerve-wracking at the second half of the or the end of the last episode. And to be honest, the only person I related to was Jenny when Jenny was like, I'm giving up. And I was like, that's fair. That's valid. That's absolutely completely valid. Thousands of coins. Oh my gosh. And singing the song, it would have driven me
I
crazy.
to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what the exact rules were for the coins. In either case, counting out 6,000 coins is a few hours worth of work. But
Mhm.
I feel like I could have gotten the exact number of those coins, like no lie. I was thinking about this. I was like, dang, I wonder what what would be your strategy for this?
Well, I think I would. Ooh. I think if I was just counting the coins, I could get the exact number. I do feel like the sleep deprivation and like the singing of the song, I do think I would mess up. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I probably would mess up for those reasons too, but I just feel like Tori was 900 plus coins away. And I think a few other people
Yeah.
were like a couple hundred, which I think that's the best you can hope for is to be off over or under by like 100 or so. But I would
Yes.
have counted out like I used to count coins a lot. I thought they were counting the dollar amount this whole time. Like
Oh,
that's how I assumed it. So like I meant to mention this last time. I was like, oh, why didn't I just start with the Bitcoins and only put them in your box when you like
no,
reach.
they were counting the actual number of coins.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
figured
Yeah.
that at this point, but like still count like do same coins. What I would do is I do same coins. So if you have quarters, nickels, dimes, whatever of Vietnamese money, the
Mhm.
equivalent, I would just do stacks of 10 and you know that and then group them in stacks of 10, right? So
Well,
I
I
know
think
that
we see somebody doing, I don't know if,
I saw.
well, Michelle, I think,
Well,
does
I just
something
like
like
for
that.
me, I didn't understand what I'm saying. I don't really care what they were doing. I'm saying how I would have done it, and I think it would have worked out really well. Like in theory, I saw other people having stacks, but they were like
Hmm.
not organized. I would have been very organized and like, I'm gonna make a stack of 10. I'm gonna make 10 stacks of 10 because I can look at that visually and just know that's 100. And I'm
Hmm.
only putting into my box after I have counted out 500 coins. Once I have like because when
Okay.
you I don't know if you've ever had like piggy banks before, but I had piggy
Yes.
banks when I was growing up, and I would like take them to like the coin star or whatever,
Yes.
and I would count them. Like I would actually count them for fun, much like Kylan. I would count and recount like when I knew I was gonna go to the coin star, and then try to
Hmm.
get like as accurate of a count. Like, and I was always like right, because like when you have like same coins and you stack them, even when you miscount one of the single stacks, you can like visually see one sitting higher or lower. It's very easy to spot.
I see what you mean. Yes.
So I would just count out 10 and each time you don't have to remember a number. You just count out to 10, place your 10, and then count out to 10, place your 10, and then do that 5 times, count out 5 groups of 10. If they're all uniform, you can always check and 500. And now I always only have to remember a whole number. Like if I mess up on the count because I'm singing or whatever, when I come back, I can just look and go, okay, there are my last thing that I put in was 1500. There are 36 stacks here or whatever, right? Like
Yes.
you get what I'm
No, I
saying?
completely agree with you. My question for you would be, do you think you could always do that in the 30 minutes?
No. So like maybe
Okay.
you would count out 500 or whatever, and like as you're putting it in, they call time. Well, I don't need to know how many are in the box currently because I know once I put all of these in, it will be 500.
I
So
see
I
what you mean.
only ever have to remember the load. So I'm like, okay,
The
I
whole
know there
number.
are like if let's say there are 2000 in there and I'm currently depositing my next 500. I'm not like it's 2000 until I hit 2500. So if I get stopped in the middle of
Yes.
counting out the or like placing in the next 500, I just go up, sing the song, and then I know, okay, I only got 2000 in there. Once this group is done, then I'm at 2500. I'm only
Yes,
ever
agreed.
remembering like intervals of 500. I'm only ever remembering 1,000, 2,500, 3,500, 65, right? Like, or whatever.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I never have to go upstairs going, there's 3,464 coins in there. There's seven, there's
No,
4,200.
you're basically bookmarking yourself. You're
Yeah.
like, it only exists to me at this number.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That's so
That
that
like
yes.
that's what I was thinking the first time when I was thinking about money. I meant to say this last time. I would go, why not just count out intervals of $100? Like start with the larger
Yes.
number, count out to 100, and I know, okay, here's a stack of 100, here's a stack of 100. Once I deposit this in, I have $100 Vietnamese dollars in there, and I always have 100 Vietnamese dollars in there until I hit 200. It doesn't really matter the number
Yes,
between
yes.
100 and 200. And I was thinking that like my only thing with my strategy was like, well, are they going to stop them for time at some point? I thought that might be the risk, is like, okay, I need to make sure that I know how long it takes me to count out 500 and deposit it, and that I'm
Yeah.
doing that in the 30 minutes. The other thing that I thought about is if there would be a point where they stop them and they can continue counting, which obviously that wasn't the case. I wasn't clear on that.
Hmm.
Then I know that anytime I start entering like numbers, like if once I enter 500 in, I can't deposit anything else, right? Until, because I thought it was
Until yes.
until like I go and sing the song and come back, like even if I count out 500. So in that case, you can just count out all of your stacks. You can count out up to 2000 coins if you like, and then
Yeah.
just deposit 2000. Like, but that's what I was thinking about and how I would handle it.
No, I think
It's
your
just,
strategy is smashing. It's perfect because it works for it would work for the dollar amount or just the sheer number of coins. And then it also works in the time interval, right? Because you're not, I mean, yes, you're sleep deprived and all of that jazz, but you're not actually relying on the number so much as like a visualization
yeah.
and like a bookmarking system, which I think is
And
perfect.
I think that like with the dirt, with like the area, you can even tally. Like you can even just make a scratch on
Yes,
the ground or something like that. Like
absolutely.
if you have a ring or a necklace, I can make a scratch in the concrete or on the wood that, hey, here's every tally mark is 500, or every tally mark is about, like,
Absolutely.
whatever. That's what I was thinking like that last week, and then like we didn't have much of a chance to talk about it. But like once this started, and I saw, because I think that like we saw more of that last time, which is why I thought they were counting money, honestly. But
Hmm.
once like we got to the point where they were just like giving a number, I was like, oh, like it's 6,000. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I think that's so smart. I think so. And I mean, we don't really hear about anybody like talk about their strategy. We like do see people do piles, but we don't know their like reasoning behind the piles or anything like that. And then Jenny gives up, but it's kind of like because she's not off by a whole bunch when she gives up.
No.
Yeah. So I'm not
I
entirely
think I
sure how that
think
worked
like
out for her,
giving up
but
for her meant just counting one by one. I think they were all
oh,
doing some sort of like strategy to try to be accurate, because they were worried about forgetting the numbers. I think giving up her for her was then now just going 3,416, 3,417. And
oof.
she was doing that assuming that like, yeah, I'm going to miss a few here and there or add a few or subtract a few, but like
Yeah.
whatever, I want to go to
It
sleep.
worked.
It worked. It
Yeah.
worked. I
And
mean,
then
barely. Yeah.
Tori
I mean, she got
barely.
third place, but it worked. She wasn't
Yeah.
last.
And then Tori is dead last out of everyone, including
Yeah,
like she's like singing at some point in time, she's singing the song completely by herself. And then she's off by a ridiculous number.
like 900 plus.
And I'm like, I don't understand how.
Yeah, she overcounted by, she was plus 900. I could see being minus 900, but
I
she
can see
was,
being a minus
I mean,
900
that's why
too.
she was after everybody else, because she was, I don't know,
Poor, I don't know,
maybe
Miss
doubling
Deal.
back.
Miss Deal, you are struggling way too much on that one. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, where is the
I
damn?
used
Okay.
to do this a lot. Like I would count out like stacks of tens or stacks of 20, and then I do like 20 groups of five. So if I had quarters or whatever, I mean 5 groups of 20, I'm sorry.
This
So
is why you're so good at math.
yeah, like
Because
the
you were just
practice.
out here doing math for fun.
Yeah.
Truly.
I mean I like
Yes.
money. So I was playing with money because it was fun,
Valid.
but it was helping obviously. Um
Valid.
okay, do you what happened next? Oh, they go to sleep.
Yes.
They wake up.
Hmm.
I really wish we would have known how much sleep they got. I have lots of issues with this finals. We're gonna talk about our impressions of the finals after we talk through these
Oh,
checkpoints.
okay.
But this is the point where I started like really having an issue with this format, the formatting of the final, not just the twist. The next checkpoint, checkpoint 5. You want to take this one?
So, checkpoint 5 is submerging terror, where we have to swim out to a raft. You once they get to the raft, then they read the instructions, which means that they have to swim to a cave. Once they swim through the little thingy to the cave, they have to get a paddle. They have to swim back with the paddle, keep the paddle, and then they have to dive to a submerged wooden box. Everybody gets their own wooden box, of which the box has a key in it, and then you use the key to unlock a boat, and then you have to paddle back to the Sinister.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
What happened here?
Well, in terms of winning, Jordan and Jenny are first.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
in the actual swim and row and dive portion, we did see some um placement shifts, right?
we do.
Michelle started out strong.
Michelle starts out strong with the swim, and then she kind of, I think it's either, I want to say it's
She
Rachel who
struggles.
says,
Her and Rachel struggle getting the box open.
yes.
Michelle gets it open slightly before Rachel, and then they both. Well, Michelle really struggles getting up to the back onto the raft
Yeah, because Kylan has to give her a leg
to
up.
release her boat, like with her
Hmm.
key. And then I don't think Rachel was struggling. I think Rachel was like, if we give him boost, like I'll take one too. Which didn't
I
go.
loved the idea of Kylan. Also, am I crazy or is Kylan the only one wearing a life vest?
Everybody's wearing a life vest.
Okay, I thought Kylan was the only person wearing a life vest for a while. Um, Okay. So yes, I thought it was funny though that Kyland, the non-swimmer, the nonest non-swimmer of all of us, was the one having to get people boosts out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
The to me, I mean, the swim to the cave is like pretty regular. It's a distance swim, and then they get there, they don't really have to do anything, and then they have to swim back with their paddle, which like I mean, we kind of see some people are towing it, some people are pushing it. That's it. It's the box, though, that I think is like the thing that kind of tripped a lot of people up because we see Michelle and Rachel kind of struggling with that, or just kind of like, honestly, I feel like freaks some people out just a little bit. Like you can see like a little bit of desperation.
The dive,
The
right?
dive,
The
yeah.
you know, you're already tired and then you have to hold your breath and go down, 4 feet, 5 feet underwater or
Yeah.
whatever, six
And
feet
deal with
underwater.
the physics of breaking open, untying and or breaking open a box underwater, which is requires a different amount of pressure than land, of course. I feel like I feel like almost everyone just ends up breaking the box.
Well, they had to release a rope that was tied around the box
Yes.
before, but the box like couldn't open, so you did have to like pry it open.
Yeah.
I saw someone was able to just get the whole side of it like off, and then a
Yeah.
lot of people just broke off one little spoke or whatever, one little
Yeah.
panel, and then were able to like wedge their key out of it through that
Yeah.
one slot.
Because the key was attached to like a buoy kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I loved that like more than one person, even though I can't remember who, like finally gets it together enough to like use their legs in breaking the box open. And I was just like, yes, let's do that. Let's do that so that we can get out of this water. Um, I don't know. I mean, it was an okay checkpoint. It wasn't
But
really,
the story honestly here is what Jordan dominates.
but yes.
Derek is able to leapfrog bananas a little bit. But Jenny, I mean, this was Tori's like day. I mean, this was Tori's checkpoint to win. It had a row in there. She's the strongest rower of the women, and she got out first onto the boat, so she would have had a lead.
Yeah.
I don't know how Jenny caught her. Like, I don't know. I did not expect to see Jenny catch her. I don't think they showed it. We just showed Jenny pulling up to the boat first. This may have been like Jenny's like signature moment of the day for me.
I think so. And it's such an interesting mirror to like the one of
Mini
our very
final.
first the mini final, but also the team row at the beginning of the whole entire season when like Arrow one is just like absolutely disastrous. And that team row, I was like, oh, here we go again.
I
What's the
mean,
row?
these guys weren't in error one. They're all right. They all did fine on the row. They all
Fair
can row.
enough.
Tori's just a much better rower.
Yeah.
As far as like a single person paddle boat. Do you have anything else on here?
I will say, as per usual with you, this I really wish we had like a more of a Chiron for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we had the like aerial views and the labeling, but that stuff was flashing so quickly. Like, I just
yeah,
wish we had like a bottom little third, like on the left
yeah.
side that was just, hey, men, women, just like you do when you watch like a marathon or when you
Yes.
watch, a triathlon or something like that. And
Even
they
if it
just
was like a little tacky like head, like going on like a
And
progress
here's the thing:
line.
we're not introducing any new concepts to these producers. They've done all of this before in prior seasons. Like,
Well,
these were regular stays of the challenge, right?
mhm.
I don't know why we made the choice to not edit this stuff into there anymore, but I think it'd be very useful to just go to see who's leaping and jumping, and then you can have that coincide with the edit of like when you show that person, like when they overtake someone and come and bump
Yeah,
themselves into first or second or whatever.
yes. And
All
so
right,
then,
so yeah,
well, our order of finishing then for men, Jordan, Derek, Bananas, Kyland, or Kyland, and then we have Jenny, Tori, Rachel, Michelle.
mhm.
Um, which Michelle, you're right. Michelle starts off very well, but then like the dive really, I feel like gets to
Well, I
her.
mean, it's the box. Like Michelle
Yeah,
is the weakest of the women there, right? So
yeah.
we see the big gals, not big, Jenny and Tori.
Big gals
I
is
mean, I just
crazy.
mean the mass mommies, the girls with the with muscles, the girls with delts.
The
We
muscle
see them
mommies, yeah.
we see them pop that box open
Yeah,
and get in there. I mean, they're able to hoist themselves up onto the platform. Like, they have a
yeah,
lot going for them that Michelle just doesn't have. They have the upper body strength to
yeah.
pull the plank off the box, and they have the upper body strength to climb back onto the
Hmm.
raft. And then it's a row. Like, that's all upper back.
Michelle
And
also loses her paddle on her row too.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's after she was already like way far behind. I mean, she
yeah.
also left before Rachel. Like, she was in the water. She lost her paddle. She got it back. She was in the water paddling before Rachel even got her boat into the water, and Rachel still
Mhm.
pulls up in front of her. It just wasn't Michelle. It just as much favor as Michelle got with the format of this finals, of it just being entirely in water. This was the one portion of it that really was
Yeah,
not for her.
yes,
Got to
absolutely.
hit that gym shell.
Valid. And Kyland, my dearest, my doll, please, I need you to learn how to swim better. I really do. Not even for the challenge. I just would like you to be able to survive in water a little bit better than
Kylan can
this.
survive in water. Like, Kylan is swimming. He's making all of these swims. He's just not swimming it fast.
That's
If the
fair.
goal is to survive in water, I actually think he's been very impressive, because I feel like he's probably more tired than anybody else, because
Oh my gosh,
it
yes.
is much more of a struggle for him.
Also, the salt water is doing wonderful for his curls.
I
Well,
there
actually, I
was
don't know if
like
it's salt
on the
water, but
math one when he had his goggles pulled up. I was
yes.
like, Kylan is modeling. Like he made me want to go buy them goggles. I'm not gonna lie.
It was like an ad for like sea salt, like hairspray. I was
Like,
like,
I
okay,
wanted a coconut, I wanted the straw, everything he had in that little scene. I wanted it all. Like, he looked so good.
Speaking of coconuts, checkpoint 6 is mathematical leisure, which
Yeah.
is swimming. Well, TJ is like, come join us or come join me for a drink on that sandbar over there. He points.
Yeah.
And it obviously for obvious reasons, like the edit leads us to believe, and the contestants also think like, oh dear God, it's going to be an eating challenge.
Yeah.
But a genuine nice surprise. They get to the sandbar and they just get to have some genuine coconut water, which everyone was Jordan was particularly excited about in
Yeah.
confessional. And then it was a kind of tournament style math kind of situation where like TJ just gave you like a math problem, and then whoever answered it first could leave. And then if you were the very last person, you had to wait until the person before you gets back to the boat before you're allowed to leave to the boat, which like I thought was going to mean more because TJ says that the next checkpoint starts as soon as you get back to the boat, but then it doesn't start until everybody gets back to the boat.
Yeah.
I,
That's what
so
he
I
meant.
just, yeah, so I just feel like being last like didn't actually matter.
Hmm.
Like aside from like the point, like you could have just swum anyway, but
You're
swam
you're
anyway.
getting into my grievances with this
Oh,
format,
oh,
with some of the
okay.
format points.
T.
Um, yeah, not a lot to say here. Jordan gets there first. Jenny gets
Hmm.
there second. Jordan
Hmm.
beats Jenny. Jenny beats the next person to come, which is Michelle, I believe.
Yeah, Michelle
Um,
gets Michelle gets stuck.
yeah, Michelle gets stuck. But she has a swim, a straight shot swim, and she's back in the
Hmm.
game, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of see contestants do speed math. Jordan and Jenny did well. Everyone did well except for Michelle. She
Mm.
doesn't win around, even though she's the third one to get there. She doesn't win around until she goes against Bananas, who was the second to last person
Yeah.
to come out of the water. So she beats Bananas, and then Kylan beats Bananas. Everybody is back on their way, and Bananas has to sit on the island until Kylan reaches the boat.
Yes. Which like Bananas gets to chill and kind of relax. And yes, he gets last place, but he doesn't start the next checkpoint late like I thought we were gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean he just gets to kind of chill, to be
Yeah,
honest.
this was the weakest one of all of these. I wish it had
Yeah.
been a puzzle. Like I wish it had been like a very complex puzzle. I wish they got in there, they got their coconut water, like whatever, and then they had to do like a really complicated. They always do get tripped up by Sudoku, so that would have been a nice point to to include a Sudoku puzzle. and and give my man Kylan like a real chance to give back in the game. Like
This felt like I know that well, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but this felt like a moment for like Kyland where they were like, damn, he can't swim, let's give
it
him
wasn't much of a
something.
moment.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't end up he gets
No,
third place,
I mean that
but
like in that the format what was always going to be the first. They knew that he wasn't going to win the first win, right? Like the format was always going to be whoever wins of the first two. So somebody
yeah.
was always going to leave ahead of him.
Oh, Kyland.
Yeah, but I really do wish like this was an opportunity to make this like a sticking point,
Yeah.
and like especially it being like the second to last one, and you're gonna give them like water scooters on the last checkpoint. Like make it like a very difficult,
Hmm.
either very physically difficult checkpoint, but obviously on that small little like barge, like whatever, like or
Yeah.
sandbar.
Sandbar.
Just make it like a very difficult puzzle. Make it like a 30-piece tanagram or something like that, or
Hmm.
like the show logo. Like we didn't have a logo puzzle this whole final. Like come on y'all, what are we doing
Oh
here?
yeah. We have like
Like
1,000 for the rest of the season and none
we
this
didn't,
one.
no logo puzzle, no tanagram, no
Yeah.
little like stick. Like come on bro, bring this is challenge 40, bring the classics back. Like what are we doing here? um
The sandbar was beautiful though.
it
I
was
will
very nice. And it would have
yeah.
been a great place to post up a bunch of puzzle boards. Like
Yeah.
or
I loved
honestly
it.
just make them eat.
Obviously we were kind of being led to
Make them
believe
eat
that it was
a
going to
live
be
octopus. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
out of all the things you said, that was very diabolical. I was actually just grateful it wasn't an eating challenge just because I don't like looking at them. I don't like
Well,
looking at eating
I don't
challenges.
like looking at nasty stuff and like the flies and then the sound
Ugh,
effects. But like
no.
I do enjoy like I think there's a threshold. I think we've gotten away from ourselves, right? We went from goat testicles and beef tongues and braised Croatian sausage, like whatever. Like we went from
Mhm.
like kind of like weird like stuff that you may like your palate may not be used to like actually like disgusting things. And we need to like
True.
just give them a little beetle, give them a little grub that's gonna squish and pop out some juice or
Oh,
something. And
oh
let's
my
just get
God. What
let's
is wrong
just
with you?
like that's not crazy to me. But like now it low back in the day we had some eyeballs, low testy, low penis, low
Little testy little penis. Sorry.
low intestine, something light.
I'm
Like
12 years old.
now
Not
all of a sudden
chitlins.
low bugs, some bugs or something like that.
Not chitlins. Never the chitlins. Oh
Some
my God.
This was a great time to bring out some balut. Is that what it's called?
You know, I don't know what you're talking
You know
about.
what it's called? Duck embryo.
Oh, absolutely not.
This was the time.
Mm-mm.
We're in Vietnam with it. This was the time. This is it's a cultural food. Like I don't like nasty stuff for nasty stuff's sake, but it's a cultural food. It's safe to eat. The people here eat it all the time. Bring it out. Let's try it. Um. Anyway, we can move on.
Thank you. So nasty. I was so glad that I didn't have to look at that. I don't like eating challenges. They freak me out. Where are we next? Oh, well,
uh,
no. Full in order. I don't think we did that yet, did we know?
Go ahead.
Jordan, Derek, Kyland, Bananas.
Yeah.
And then for women, Jenny, Michelle, because Michelle makes it up on the swim, as you said. Tori and Miss Rachel.
Jenny crushing. I'm very
Jenny
proud of
crushing
her.
again. Yes, the Jays and the Jays crushing it. We love to see it. And then we are next up. Now, do we want to talk about a grievance now, or are we talking about grievances at the end?
We can talk about it at the end.
Okay.
Let's finish this.
Okay, so checkpoint 7 is Champions Cove. They got to swim out to a cove where they will or they got their water scooter. Then they use their little water scooter. It drags them along in the water to go receive a token. The token is underwater, which kind
In
of
a
seems to
cave,
confuse in a cave,
in
yeah,
like a yeah.
with a little fake skeleton, with a little hat on, and then they use their water scooter to get back to Sinister. Eh,
Yeah.
eh.
This is this is one of those like I'll talk about one of the grievances right now. I really like I wish for the life of me that this was just a linear challenge. I wish we mixed in more like more modes of transport outside of swimming, even if we were on the
Ah,
water,
yes.
whether it was paddleboard, like whatever, rowing, whatever it was.
By
Maybe
linear,
give
you
them
mean
some.
not coming back to the Sinister.
No, what I mean is like my specific sort of like grievance is with the stop of the checkpoint. Like, well, maybe not linear is not the word. I wish the final was more fluid. Ironic because we're in water, but
Okay.
I wish the final was more fluid. I really like it. Really started to like irk me in this second episode that
Hmm.
after everything we came to the Sinister to pause and have TJ explain the next thing, and it was just like kind of ridiculous to me. Like I really wish the final
Okay.
was kind of like a relay is not the right word, but like a consistent run. Like I hop off the checkpoint, I go do a thing, I read it. Like I don't need TJ
Very
to explain.
triathlon-y.
I don't need TJ to explain the rules every time. We've never needed TJ to explain the rules. And on most finals, TJ is there at the beginning of the final. He explains
Hmm.
the rules. They got to run the final on their own, and he's there at the end of the finals to welcome in the winners as they finish.
Okay.
Or he makes an appearance some point in the middle or whatever at an eating challenge or at like a puzzle challenge or something like that to judge, and then he goes on by his business. Like
What is
if
his business while everyone else is suffering? Just standing there?
chilling
Oh, good for
chilling
him.
somewhere off screen with producers watching. Um, it really became like super noticeable on the like math leisure, like the mathematical leisure one, and the one
Mm,
before and the one after, in that like you had that huge gap of like inaction where Kylan and or Bananas had already lost, right? And
yeah.
you just had this like huge, and everybody's just standing on the boat like watching Bananas. Like if they,
Yeah.
like you said, if they could have just jumped off and went to the next thing.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Because
I also
otherwise, there was no real consequence for like it didn't serve as a consequence for Banana past that checkpoint.
yeah. Um, like if there was like a I I know they probably did it that way because they didn't want us to know who was leading just on checkpoints. But like
Well, and they moved the
I think it
Sinister
would have been
too.
much more interesting to watch like Jordan dominating for 7 checkpoints because he's just running laps on everybody. He's just off the boat, does his thing, and he's like 2 checkpoints ahead of
Yeah.
bananas or whatever, and Derek is a checkpoint and a half behind, and Kylan is 4 checkpoints behind Jordan.
Like the mini
Like
final.
like every other final, like most other finals, where someone is literally like on someone has literally changed climates because they're so far up the mountain, and another person is like still, trying to like work their way into that climate, like or
Yeah,
whatever. I
I
really,
see what you
really
mean.
like it really, really dulled the second day because I feel like as much as I
Mm,
wanted to see like more running in the final, like I was kind of like this is a cool concept. It's new. It's never been done before. It's a first, and
yeah.
it looks really good. The scenery is very beautiful. I think
Oh, it was.
most of these challenges, while I don't think any single one of them felt like a checkpoint in a final, um, well
Especially not
maybe
on
a
day
few.
two. To me, on day two,
Day
it
two
was
was
very
like
not.
absolutely like dull. It was like go here and this is why I think we don't have to do a 2 day finals, y'all. That was my other grievance because
Yeah.
day two was so weak compared to day one, and that has really been the thing. That has been a consistent theme over the last like 5 or so challenges. Is that day two really sucks. Like when we first did this, I mean, well, when we first did it, it was on Rivals, and day two there sucked too, right? It
Hmm.
was literally just wake up and then race to the top of the mountain and do a scavenger hunt. Like it was, I think they had like a metal detector and they had to like find something. It was like, but it was novel. It was the first time
Yeah.
it was ever done. I was like, okay, sure. And the first day was so jam packed full of action on that particular final that it was like forgivable. We have like War of the Worlds finals and maybe even War of the Worlds 2. Day two was decent. Did War of the Worlds 2 have a day two? I'm not sure. But like day two was decent. Like War of the Worlds 1 for sure. Like, and even like day two was fine on those days.
Yeah.
Invasions, all of that. It looks fine. Over the last few seasons, day two has literally just been a drag. Like we did a maze on Ride or Die on day two. And like the
We
event
did
was
things.
find your way out of a corn maze. Stupid. And then
Yeah, that's how I felt about Champions Cove because I was like, I thought it would be harder to get the token, I guess,
it
but
was
it
all
was
just sitting there. It was at their feet. Like as soon
yeah,
as the water got waist high, you could just look under. The biggest challenge was how murky the water was how well
yeah,
you could see underwater. That was the
yeah,
challenge. You didn't
yeah,
have to find anything. You didn't have to fight anyone. You didn't have to solve anything.
yeah.
But like those are my big things. Like this should have been like much more fluid. Like the constant stopping, it really did because these were so boring that I was
Hmm.
just like, we're stopping for rest. And if that's the case, make the challenges longer. Make them have to do a task every time they come back to the Sinister. Maybe they have to eat something or drink something. That would have been a
Yeah.
great way to incorporate like eating into this final, right?
Ooh, they
Maybe
could have counted the coins over several, like every time, like had
yeah.
more coins and counted the coins over several stops.
Like I think I really think the challenge or the final should have been jump off the Sinister. I don't remember checkpoint number one or whatever, but go do checkpoint number one. Um, once you do checkpoint one,
Hmm.
hold on, let me figure out what checkpoint one is because I want to state this correctly. Um, yeah, I think we started great on day one. Like it should have been jump
Yeah.
off the boat, go do the sand blast, fix your puzzle. Once you get your puzzle, you collect your token, right, or whatever. Maybe not, but you once you get your puzzle, it's a race to swim back. When you get back to the Sinister, it's a race to get your token. Because the other thing that I didn't like is that people would swim up to the Sinister, not even touch the boat in most cases, and we would just see a little thing that says, "Hey, this person is second place," and then they would just lounge in the water for
They
for
did.
20 minutes before they like
Yeah.
lifted themselves onto the boat. There's like no urgency. Swim back to the Sinister, get up the boat. You need to get to a certain room on the Sinister, locate your token. So you could get there first, but if somebody gets up before you and finds their token for the first place, they win. Get
They
your
win.
token, put it on your little hook, dive right back off. Guess what? We're going to the ghost ship. The ghost ship. We go
Yeah.
to the ghost ship. We do our little puzzle. We dive underwater. We do our puzzle. We run back to the Sinister. Now I got to go to a different part of the Sinister and find my next token for checkpoint two.
Yeah.
I get it. I hook it. I go do my next one. 1,000 steps.
And make it a shorter distance, like park
Yeah.
the Sinister in like a
Or
sun, because we
yeah,
travel the
in
Sinister.
a central location where you can
Yeah.
like what I really thought of was like Hunger Games where it was like the clock and you had the zones.
Yes.
I
That's
wish
exactly what
like
I was
each
thinking.
checkpoint would have just been like in a different
Absolutely agree.
like area so you could see like you could keep an eye on your competition. Like you could see Jordan getting to the Sinister and heading to checkpoint 3 while you're swimming back from checkpoint 2
Agree
and you know
completely.
like oh crap, I need to like pick it up or pray
Because
that
then
something
people
terrible
can
happens.
still swim, we can still do the boating, we can still do the 1,000 steps, right? Like if we park the Sinister in a central location, which is when we get to the Sinister and Tori and Kara do their elimination, I thought that's what we were going to do anyway. I thought the boat was just going to be there. I legitimately did not think that was a working boat
Yeah.
until they were like, "We got to move the boat," and I was like, What do you mean we're moving the boat? Where are we
It
going?"
didn't add anything. I do wish the boat was like just centralized and it was just a touch point for your checkpoint didn't end until you made it back to the Sinister. So you could
Yeah,
be leading, but if somebody caught up to you and they got back there first, and then you have to go and physically get your first place, get your second place
yeah,
token, hang it up on your hook, and then go and do your next thing. Um, and I honestly don't think it would have shifted much of anything. I think
yeah,
Michelle probably is in definitively in second place, or maybe she even wins this because she's just a much better swimmer over like the
yeah.
distance.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna ask you if you thought it would make a difference. I feel like Jordan would still win.
I think Jordan would have still won. I think the only shift, the only like movement we probably would have seen was from either Bananas, like maybe Bananas gets out in front of Derek and stays out in front of Derek, and
Mm,
then karma points aren't enough to like make to like
any
move
shift.
things.
Yeah,
Um, because Bananas gets out ahead of Derek on Ghost Ship. Like if all things are
yes,
the same, Derek barely beats Bananas on the Sandblast, and then Derek struggles on that puzzle. Bananas comes in second. If he's able to get that puzzle done, get on the ship, and just
yeah,
keep doing the rest of the thing, he didn't really place. He ends up getting like two more second places in the next behind Jordan in the next
yeah.
two checkpoints, I believe. So if he's able to just keep rolling, ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
Agreed.
Um,
Are we ready to
but
talk about our final results then?
yeah,
Like
go
that was our
ahead.
last checkpoint. So, final results. Our champion for the men, Jordan. Second place, Derek. Third place, Bananas. They get all the money. Kylan, fourth place, no money. Now, women, we get a tie, but
Well, hold
oh,
on. So we did learn about the karma votes here, and we learned that
yes,
it didn't
that's
make a
true.
difference for the men. But I
No,
mean,
which kind of
we
annoyed me.
we we cannot fail to say that of the men, Derek got the most karma votes, and he got 8 points from karma votes because
Hmm.
he got the most karma votes.
Yes, because karma votes. This
And
was the thing
Kylan
that,
was second place in the karma votes.
yes, six.
Six. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Well, because it's worth the same amount of points as a checkpoint.
yes, two checkpoints.
Yeah.
Yes, which was the thing that confused me, and I completely forgot TJ explained until we talked about it today. And so then Jordan, Derek, Bananas, no money for Kylan. Then for women, there is a change for the karma points. So our final, do we get to know who before the karma points?
So
Okay,
before
I don't
karma
remember that.
points, it's Jenny, Michelle, Rachel, and
Tori.
Tori
Hmm.
before
And then
karma.
with karma, we end up Jenny, Rachel, Michelle, Tori.
Yeah. If Tori had pulled out like a few more second place finishes, Tori could have been definitively in second place with karma because
Yeah,
she was second place overall in karma. Rachel got the most karma points.
yeah,
Um, so Michelle gets pulled from second to third because of karma voting, and
yeah.
Rachel gets pulled from third to tied for first. I never want to see this again. This is
I
this
knew you were gonna
this
say it.
this is horrible. And I have like my grievance is not with Rachel because honestly she was annoying me with the way she was celebrating. I'm like, this is a bubble ring, babe. Like, shut up. Like, this is a Mickey Mouse chip. Like,
Oh,
you can't wear this one on your jacket. Like, you can't get this letter on your jacket. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This was Jenny's final. This was like Rachel did two horrible things here. She took away Jenny's moment, and like a legacy win for Jenny, like winning on Total Madness, coming back seasons later and winning the biggest and most competitive season of the challenge to date. Going 2 for 2 on Total Madness and Battle of the Eras. That's insane. She took away that huge moment from Jenny and then took away what would have been Michelle's coming out party, coming in second place in an absolutely stacked finals. Rachel, shut up, bro. Like, I like Rachel,
I
but the
did
way she
not
was
think you
the
were
way
going to
she
get
was
that
talking
upset.
about the way she was talking about this, I wasn't like even really upset until I like after I watched this thing and I started thinking about like I was like, oh, I hate it. Like this is terrible. This is not a good like
Yeah.
when the boys went and he was like, there's no change. I was like, oh, thank God. This is awesome. I ain't mad at it. When he was like, there is change, I'm like, okay, where was the change? To find out that it was this was almost the worst case scenario. The only thing worse than this is if this would have like actually pulled Jenny out of first. Like, but this
Fair.
was
Yes.
almost as upsetting as if that had happened. Like, and I don't care because listening to the and it pissed me off more listening to what people said and how they voted,
Yeah.
right? Like if the like the this phrase that we're saying is how you treat people matters, what did Jenny do to get third place? She didn't mistreat any of those people. She just won. She sent them home and she won the daily challenges that they couldn't win. She's being penalized for being better than them and
Yeah.
them not knowing her. And it's also
True.
as much on them to get to know her. What if Jenny had gone home and one of those people were like Jenny had been eliminated and one of those people were there and she was marking off twos and ones because they never spoke to her? Are we really going to say that they wronged her in some way? They don't know
No,
her. That's the
that's
only
true.
reason they're putting her there. Same thing with Michelle. Like, I hate Michelle. Michelle annoys me, although I'm very proud of her in what she achieved here today. But
I'm proud of
Michelle
that. Yeah.
annoys me. But she
She
didn't do
does.
anything to those people.
No.
She didn't do nothing to those people. Like for it to impact her placement, like
Yeah.
it cost her $50,000. Like I don't like Michelle. I cannot imagine in this scenario being okay with snatching $50,000 away from her just for not liking her, especially with the performance that she put up. She outperformed Rachel this final.
Yes,
Jenny
she did.
outperformed Rachel in this final. Like
Yeah.
Rachel doesn't deserve this. And here's the other thing that pissed me off. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let you speak.
I don't
I'm
disagree
sorry,
with you.
Taylor. I'm gonna let you talk, but Beyonce had the best.
Not me being Taylor in this analogy.
Because
Disgusting.
you're the Rachel stan. I already know you're gonna be like, I'm so proud of her. Like, shut up. Not
I
you.
actually do not disagree with anything you just said.
Okay.
Thank
Praise
you.
God. Thank God for that.
Yes.
Um,
I was actually going to say something even further.
listen, my thing with the production is if you really feel this strongly about the karma voting, put your money where your mouth is. Don't make Jenny split her prize money with Rachel. You want to get two winners. If you want to
Ah,
make history by coming up off of an extra 325K for prize money. Then
that's
make
fair.
make make that history. Go
That's
ahead
fair.
and give. Okay, Michelle's in third place. Cool. Give Michelle her 25K. Now you got to write out two. Now you got to write out three $400,000 checks that you weren't planning to write. Don't make
Yeah.
me split my money with her because
Yeah.
y'all threw in some shit and I dominated her. Like it would be one thing if we were like neck and neck and like the karma just kind of okay, cool.
Yeah.
Those are your friends. They looked out. The game is political. It's always been political. I dominated her.
Yeah.
Like the only checkpoint that she won over me was the one I threw. And
Yes.
the one where Jenny couldn't work the little scooter or whatever the case might be.
She did struggle with the scooter. I don't disagree with you at all. And I think for me, it bothered me in because we learn about the men first, right? So it actually bothered me in a parallel way with if the whole idea of karma points is that the way that you treat people matters. My thing with the karma point should have been that like there I think there should have been a subtraction system, right? Where like if you because the karma points really only matter. They don't really matter for anybody in the middle, but they matter if somebody is like really wonderful and they matter if somebody's really bad. And
Mm-hmm.
so we see this in the confessional kind of montage, right? Where people
Mm-hmm.
are joking and they're like, can I give a zero? Can I give a -1? Right? Like, that's what I think should have actually been the system. If they're going to matter, then the negative needs to matter. Like, somebody,
Well, here's my pushback on that.
yeah.
Why? What was their criteria for a one vote? Because the people that we saw give out ones, right? What did the ones that they gave out actually do to them? What did Jenny?
These,
I don't remember. What did Jenny do to Tina? What did well, maybe Jenny did vote Tina in, my bad. I don't remember. But like, no, I'm like, what did Jenny really do to Leroy? You were there
these,
for a day. You went home first. You never met this girl.
well,
What
we
are we
see
talking about?
Leroy, the only we don't get a lot of explanations except for like emotional ones, but Leroy says his one for bananas is I think only because bananas has won
And it's
before.
it's a troll because they're best friends in real life. I don't even like when I heard that I was like, there's no way Leroy actually put one for bananas. And if he what he's saying is true, he's like trolling. He's not even taking it seriously. Like
Yeah, I see what
which
you mean.
also upsets me because they're obviously not taking it seriously. They're like joking -5 and they're just marking people one indiscriminately. This is like a terrible way. I think this would have been interesting if it gave them like if it advantaged or disadvantaged them at the beginning of checkpoints in the actual finals. So that like
Mm,
you still have
okay.
to go out and perform. Like karma can help or hurt you, but
Yeah.
ultimately like the way you place in the final is going to come down to your performance and your resilience in the final.
Yeah.
So maybe if you had an extra karma vote, um you had to count less coins, so you weren't as sleep deprived or whatever, or you
Yeah.
got to jump off the boat earlier in each order. Maybe okay,
Yes.
we
Yes.
know every single checkpoint Derek is going to jump off first because he's number one in karma, and Kylan is going to jump off second because he right. Jordan probably still catches up to Kylan and beats him, right? But maybe there's a few checkpoints that Derek is able to, if he's able to get out far ahead and get
Yeah.
the checkpoint done earlier, he can eke a few first place wins, and that way karma
Yeah.
helps him,
Yeah.
right? And every win that Jordan gets, it's by his own ability.
Do you think we'll get more
I
information
hope.
at the
Oh, I'm sorry.
reunion
I don't know.
about the karma?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even really. I haven't thought about that.
I thought about that because I just want more explanations as to why people gave what they did. And again, I think that there should have been, if we're going to say that the positive really matters, there should be a negative too. But a second,
Well, there was a negative. Like it
no, but I feel
didn't.
like there should have been a subtraction.
What I mean is this. What I'm saying is I don't have a problem with like people being impacted by it. They were impacted by it. If they had done better, if the people who got high votes in karma had
Mm,
done better, it would have hurt their competitors. It hurt Jenny.
it
Like
does hurt Jenny.
like karma hurt Jenny. It took away 125, I don't remember, like 100 like
Don't ask me.
150,000, because I think they walked. I think they ended up with like 230 is what I read earlier today.
I thought it
So
was,
I don't know
why
where
did
the
I think it
extra
was
40K came from,
275?
but it hurt Jenny to the tune of 150 grand that she would have won
Yeah.
if we just did a straight ranking of the checkpoints.
Yes.
Like on the checkpoints, because I did graph this out earlier.
Why is it? I just want to know the prize money breakdown.
Jenny beats Rachel by 6 points,
Mm,
right? On the checkpoint, yes. And
yes.
then Rachel gets 8 karma points and Jenny gets 2. So those 6 points are made up
Yeah.
on karma.
Yeah. They are because then they both end with 24.
If Jenny had only been 5 points up on Rachel, Rachel is in first place and Jenny takes home second.
I don't disagree with you about literally anything. I want to know about the prize money difference.
It's on
400.
the Wikipedia. I
Well, it
believe,
says champions 400 each, but then it doesn't tell me the breakdown of the.
or maybe it's on the wiki. I saw something that said like they did not give them 400 each. They split it.
They split it, but it wasn't 200 each. It was more than 200.
Yeah, it was more than 200. I don't know where the extra 40K comes from. I don't particularly care because whatever number it is, it's still less than $400,000. Like
Oh,
I'm
it
not.
comes from second place.
Oh, they split the second place money. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, yes, because I thought it was 275.
Yeah. No, it was
Because second place is
237.
150.
It was two. Second place was 75K. It was two. It was 150 for both second place. So 75 for the guy and
Oh my
75 for the
God. Yeah, we
woman.
talked about this last time. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
It was.
split second place.
Yeah. It was 30. Yeah. It's 37,500. That's what it was. 2,000, 200,000, 237,500.
Such a weird number. I mean, I completely agree with you. Like the karma point system it was not giving what it was supposed to have gave. And it does take away Jenny's win based on her actual performance
I'm mad
at the
about it
final.
for like all of the reasons. I'm mad about it
Yeah.
for the money, and I'm mad about it for like the narrative, like how it changes the narrative of the season, and like legitimately, like because I care about like the narrative and the stories and the and
As you should.
the legacies of like what people are doing here, and I think like obviously Jenny wasn't mad about it. I just think Jenny's not smart enough to count and be mad about it, but
Diabolical, crazy.
but
Yes.
but like for Jenny showing up on the challenge, this is Jenny's third challenge and second win, right?
Work.
And showing up on, and even in her first challenge, like she was in pretty far. She lost
Mhm.
she lost in a hall brawl to, we ain't gonna talk about it, but she went pretty far. She went pretty far into the season. She won an elimination round early, well, midpoint in the season, and then lost the second one that she went into. And then she goes in on her second season. She wins like 3 or 4 elimination rounds on her second season, and then wins the final.
Yeah.
I believe. And then again on her next season, this season, she went in twice. Anissa and Aviv sends home two heavy hitters. Two, I mean, multiple time finalist and one time challenge champion. Like that's a pretty impressive resume. And I
Yes.
think narratively, like for me, like this changes some of that for Jenny, and taking away the moment where she gets to stand conquering Battle of the Eras as the best woman on a
Yeah.
season of the 20 greatest and most storied and most legacied women ever to
Yeah.
compete in the challenge. She gets to share it with Rachel because people liked Rachel better because Rachel's team got beat down because they were bad. Like that's the other thing. These people went home because they couldn't win challenges and they couldn't win elimination rounds. Why do I care? Like why do I care that they're happy to give
That
a
is
five to
funny.
their old pal Rachel? Like what?
Yes. That is funny.
Of course you are. You're a loser. Like what are we talking about here? Like what are we doing here?
I don't disagree with you. I was incredibly disappointed by the karma situation. Both for the men and the
And
I
like
wanted bananas to get hit more.
the like the like the I mean he won last. He was last place in karma voting. Like the statement that how you treat people matters, it's not a new concept. For the challenge, how you treat people matters, but it tends to matter in the next season that you play. That's why y'all keep bringing the same people back. Y'all
Ah,
keep bringing people back
yes.
with their homies. Y'all keep bringing people. We have an entire series of people being paired up with their rivals, their exes, and then their vendettas. We have a season of this show called Double Agents where they have to deceive each other and then they can win like the dailies and figure out who might be lying and
I like
expose
that.
who's being duplicitous. Like
I
we
love
we
that.
already have this stuff built into the game. You want
Luck
to
for
like
us watching the traders.
you want to talk about like how you treat people mattering? Yes, it matters a lot.
Well, I mean, like
It
we said, like
matters
it
a lot.
already matters.
It already matters, and
Hmm.
it mattered so much. that Era One was willing to sacrifice Anissa. It mattered so much that
Poor Anissa.
like we have like these storied
Yeah.
multi-season like multiple arc having like beefs, all this drama in theater, it's already built into the show. This is a weak way to manufacture drama. It's a weak way to like manufacture drama in a final, and it's terrible. If I wanted to watch like Big Brother, if I wanted to watch the
Ooh.
eliminated players vote for who they like the best and reward money to who they like the best, I would watch Big Brother. I would watch Survivor. If I wanted to see a jury, if I want to see the final contestants get judged by a jury of their peers, I'd watch Survivor. I'm not watching Survivor right now. I'm watching the challenge. I
Yeah.
want to see I want to see a final competition based on the wit, the grit, and the physical prowess of the people who are left in. Like I don't care
Yeah.
about what the losers thought about them. It doesn't change the way we've had absolute villains win this season, and they have been much more satisfying like finishes than what this was.
Yeah.
Like, and I like everybody that won money.
I
Like
do too.
legitimately, I like them all this season. Everybody that,
Um,
well, not Michelle. That's not true. But I was proud of her
Bananas.
on this finals, right?
Yeah.
But like everybody that won, they deserved it. They earned it, right? We saw them. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. There have been people who have like Bananas stole 6 figures from a woman that I really really liked, and that finals was much more satisfying than this one. Like I was sick to my stomach
Bananas.
watching that. Like
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised she didn't kill him. I would kill somebody for
she
doing that
hasn't
to
been
me.
back since.
I would I'd go to jail. I really would.
uh,
That's crazy to me. Every time they show that clip, I'm just like, "Oh my God."
she has not shown up since. She said, "You know what? I'm out."
And I don't blame her because again, I would go to jail. I would go to jail. I know it's a TV show, but I would go to jail. That's really crazy.
She said, "I'm out."
God. I don't disagree with you about any of this. I, as always, or not as always, as we know, this is my first season ever of watching the challenge. And I wanted,
Banana snaked his best
oh,
homegirl in the episode before the finale on the island to keep her out of the prize money, and that was more satisfying than this.
oh,
He
bananas.
bullied 2 women for the entirety of a season, and then snaked his best friend at the end, and that was more satisfying than this. We have had
Is
like
this how people who watch Survivor feel about Boston Rob?
no, they love Boston Rob.
Oh,
They
okay.
love Boston Rob. I actually used to be a Boston Rob hater, and I came around
Okay.
as
I
well
didn't
too.
know.
But like he is beloved by everyone. Like
Okay.
they tend to
Oh,
like villains are very popular on Survivor. People don't tend to like dislike villains unless the
oh.
villainy is like outside of the gameplay.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Boston Rob.
Laurel has won this show.
Oh, don't even get me started. Please, you know that I cannot stand Laurel as a human being on this planet. I
Like
am frightened by
I don't even
her.
I don't want to say more, but like I mean we Bananas ain't the only person that stole money from his partner like on in the final, but that one was very
Well, I
satisfying.
mean, it's an apparently it's an
Emmanuel won
option.
last
So.
year. Like, come on, y'all. Like, that was more satisfying than this shit.
I mean, and then well, we have a reunion, which I'm very interested to know more
Ain't gonna be
about.
nothing, bro.
Okay. And then we
I'm not
roll
done
into
talking about this, but I'm gonna
rivals.
let you. I'm gonna let you do what you got to do.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say that you're talking about people hating each other and like doing things. We're rolling into an era.
All
Let me
Stars
say that
5,
again.
All Stars Rivals.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is you're talking about the fact that TJ says that how you treat people matters and that it already matters within the show. We are literally rolling into a season of All Stars called Rivals, which means
Yeah,
that we already know this. It's already built into the show, but I wanted the karma points to like be a big deal, and I feel like they were a big deal in the wrong way for
yeah.
Jenny. Jenny,
Like,
I mean,
I'm like
Michelle does
I'm
the amount of crying I would do if I was Jenny.
Michelle should have been crying anyway. Michelle legitimately won $75,000 and had $50,000 stolen away from her, and then watch the bitch that stole it from her jumping up and down and talking about how much this means to have a woman from. This ain't no fucking feminist victory. You
Oh,
stole money from women to get there. What are we talking about?
That is that's tea. That's fair. That is tea.
What
Yeah.
are we talking about? This is just so inspirational as a woman. And to kind of, you kept talking about them kids. I want them to know that their mother is a thief. Rachel didn't do anything. The producers did this.
I was gonna say
They
Rachel
made a
was just
thief of her mother. You're
there.
still a thief. Give that money back, Rachel.
Oh my God. I will say the only thing that matters to me is that at least one member of Era One survived till the end.
And the other thing
I
about
wish
this
it was him too.
karma is it really like it undoes like the thumbprint of this show, because if this continues, this just discourages drama. It discourages fighting. It discourages exciting
Interpersonal
gameplay.
behavior, yes,
It
exactly.
yeah, it
That was
discourages
going to be my
exciting
question
gameplay.
for you, which is, do you think it would have been different if everybody knew ahead of time?
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly. I
Yeah.
think everybody makes I don't think it'd be that much different because a lot of these people are just horrible, horrible people. But like, I think there are certainly some people,
Mhm.
because we see it on Survivor with jury management. People still play like they take everything personal on here. Like survivors are really good at like the gamesmanship and like understanding and respecting the gamesmanship of like fellow players. Like
Yeah.
here, people don't recognize good moves as like good game moves. They do take on everything personally. I
Everything's
think what it
personal.
would have
Yeah.
done is like people would have been managing more overtly, like how they were sending people home, who they were sending home, how they were
Mm-hmm.
handling stuff. I think Tina probably gets a little further because people know she's a little bit vindictive. So if I can kick that can down the road and make sure somebody else is who nominates her in, or she just
Yeah.
loses and ends up in there, maybe something like that happen. But I think for the vast majority of like the boot order, it stays the same, right?
Yeah.
I think we see more boring gameplay. Like I think there are a few characters who are unchanged by like the introduction of this. I don't think this changes the way Laurel handles her relationships in the game, because Laurel probably just thinks I'm getting to the end anyway. I don't care what y'all do. Like
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
getting to the end and I'm gonna run the tables. Like I don't care what y'all doing. Um
And for Laurel to skedaddle the way that she did, so
yeah.
important to me.
Mm.
So important to me.
I think like the twist, it wasn't much of a twist. I think it could have been implemented better. I don't
Yeah.
like. I think it could have just been a momentary advantage like at the checkpoint,
I agree. I
right?
think that would be the best option.
Um,
Because I
or
do
maybe
like that.
maybe it's
Oh.
even like, I'm sorry, maybe it's even like your number of karma points earns you a number of advantages. So if you finish first, maybe you got four advantages and you can strategically use it on different checkpoints. So what if like on the checkpoint on the boat
Mm.
where Ghost Ship where Derek struggled, he could have pulled out one of his karma things. He got four little karma helpers and he could have pulled out one that would have like eliminated a number of pieces from the board for him, right? Or like
Yes.
made it so that his
Yes.
puzzle was less complex in some way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can use there. Y'all did 7 checkpoints. Derek has 4 karma helpers and he can use them on any 4 checkpoints that he wants. So he gets to something, he gets to the little one where you have to like sit on the barge and like figure out the image in
Hmm.
the woods,
Hmm.
and he's like, yeah, I'm not rocking with this. Let's go ahead. Everybody has a 3-sided puzzle. Everybody has a 2-sided puzzle. I'm gonna go ahead and use this, and I get a 1-sided puzzle, and I just have to construct one
Yeah.
side. It's less
Yeah.
confusing for me. Cool, right?
Agreed.
He drops one on there on the 1,000 steps thing. He drops one on the ghost ship. Like all the
Yeah.
ones that he kind of like struggled on a little bit. He drops one on the one where they had to like break the key out of the box,
Yeah.
right? And then maybe he drops one earlier on in the thing, and that moves him from third to second, or even second to
Yeah.
first on a few
But you
legs.
still have to
And
work for it.
yeah, you still have to work for it. It makes things
Absolutely.
interesting as far as like placement. Jordan probably still wins, but
Hmm.
Derek is greatly helped. And Jordan was third place in karma, so maybe he has 2
Yeah.
karma helpers. Maybe he sees, okay, he's like, okay, I'm gonna play defensively. If I see Derek has twice as many as me. If he drops one on this puzzle, you know what? I'm gonna drop one on this puzzle too, and I'm gonna just hope I beat him in the swim. right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
I think that would have been a lot more impactful. And honestly just would have been better
it
television.
it also still is reliant. It makes the person's win reliant upon their abilities. Like this is
Mm,
the reason I am very upset is as much as we like Rachel, she's an OG, she's legacy, she's on every a lot of people's Mount Rushmore, right? She probably still would have been even if she lost because people would go, oh yeah, she's been gone for 15 years, she's a mom now, she's like 40. Oh, we weren't looking at her to win this one, like right. We were
yeah.
looking at the Tories and the cars, and maybe a few people were looking at Laurel, like maybe people were looking at Casey, Jenny, etc. But like we weren't looking at Rachel to win this. It does nothing for her.
Yeah.
And she's handed a win. Like if Rachel had four karma things and we saw her have to like strategize in the final and decide how to strategically employ them to keep herself in second, like Rachel got fourth place, like on more than half of these checkpoints, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it's more than half, but it's definitely a significant amount.
Like they had seven checkpoints. I'm gonna look it up right now. Like Rachel, fourth place on one. Okay.
I'll keep track or I'll count them. Rachel.
Fourth place on two. Okay. She got two fourth places. She got a single
Two
first and
third.
a single second, I think. And then one, two third places.
Yeah.
So the vast majority, she's in the bottom 50% the vast majority of this final. She's third or fourth place the majority of this final. She she finishes in third place at best.
Mm-mm-mm.
Her finish is third place. I don't know, man. Like I really hate it, and I don't think there's
I
like
don't disagree.
I don't want like I actually don't want it in the game at all. I'm only shooting Bill like because like you were like, oh, what if it was? I don't want to hear. I don't want it to disadvantage people. I don't want people being disadvantaged. I think the best case is kind of people being advantaged, but like, but I
Yeah.
don't want people being disadvantaged because the nature of the voting, it's not really based on how what did Jenny do to anybody this season?
Well, it's
She
not
talked about her
objective.
dog, talked about working out, and had an annoying accent. Like that's where her and she finished last
Not the
place in
hatred for the British getting
she
her.
finished last place in karma voting. Like seriously,
Yeah.
if Jenny had only like Jenny beat uh uh, Rachel by 6 points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She beat Rachel by 6 points. I think she had 22 total, and then she beat Michelle by 3 points.
Yeah.
There is a world legitimately where Michelle takes over first place, and I don't think she earned it. I think she did well. I think she performed like my like my expectations for her in this
Absolutely.
entire season
I
and
thought
most
she was
people's
going to go home.
expectations, but she didn't do well enough to win first place. Like I don't want people being disadvantaged by people who they literally did nothing to. Like at least on Survivor, you were lying to people, you're voting them out, you're doing stuff, you're
Yeah.
like, and it's built
It's
into
part
the
of the
game.
fabric of the, yes, it's part of the fabric of the game from the jump and everybody's
We've
within
never done this. We
agreement.
don't need to choose season 40 to do this.
Well, I think that's exactly why they chose
I
it.
also the thing that the reason why I'm like especially mad about it is like the thing that I love about the challenge is that like people don't get voted out. It's not like I watch a lot of reality TV. It's not like other reality TV shows where I just say your name and if I can get enough people to say your name, you go home. Like even when I
Yeah.
vote you out, it is still on you. When I vote you out, you go in the sand and you still have the opportunity to fight for yourself and
Yeah.
you can control your fate in the game at every turn. This takes some of that agency out of the hands of the players,
Yeah.
right? Because I can do like legitimately I Jenny got last place in the votes. Even Bananas, who got last place in the votes, didn't really do nothing to most of these people, those people
No.
this season. It came from, previous issues like on prior seasons or just people like memeing and just being like screw that guy, we all hate him, like, and they're gonna
Negative
go
five.
home. They've all been on his podcast. All the people that were talking about him, they've all been on his podcast, and they're kikiing, they're homies, like
They are homies, yes.
like
I don't disagree with you. I hope that they Well, I mean, I don't know how All Stars works, but I'm hoping that they don't do this
I mean,
again. Or
they did this in All Stars last year. They did a star system where Laurel won it because of those damn stars.
still confuses me, but I didn't watch, so I don't know. But I don't think that this format worked. I think that if they are going to do something like this, I like that it is a tactical advantage.
I want it gone.
Um, and
I was just breezing, but I want it gone.
I,
Go ahead.
I know. But if it has to exist, I would agree with you that it should be a tactical advantage. I don't disagree with you. I was partially also because the checkpoints of day two were kind of blah to me.
Yeah.
When we reach the tie, I was like, I was like, okay, well, fair enough. And then that was it. It was almost
I think I
anticlimactic.
said last week the best case scenario for karma impacting the game would be pulling someone from like third to second. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's and like in that case it's like, oh yeah, you should have been nicer. Like if that had happened here, I would have been pissed, but I would have been like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
The fact that it had an impact on who we're calling, because I'm Rachel ain't winning this shit. I'm never calling her a champion of this. Like I'm not. Like far I'm not. I'm just not. I'm never gonna do it.
That's
Far far as I'm concerned, Rachel has 2 wins. Rachel has 2 wins.
yeah.
Yeah,
This doesn't count.
this little Mickey Mouse ring don't count.
I don't even know what that means.
Not real
I know, but I just want to know the
toy.
reference. Oh, thank you. That makes a lot more sense. There was something else about this episode. Oh, I just wrote they all look like they got diseases because they got ate up. Those fish, the sun, the bugs, everything
Wait, what
like
did you
that.
say?
No, I was just saying that they all looked like they were diseased at the end. Like the fish, the biting of the fish, the bugs, the sunburn, they got ate up
That
this
a lot of
episode.
that was from they had that at the start of the finals. Rachel, Jenny, that was from carrying the bricks
Oh,
in
yes.
that challenge.
Oh, oof.
Yeah, they were all bruised up, and then I think it like scabbed and started peeling over those 2 days.
Yeah, and some blisters. Oh, and I know the water was not helpful. Oof,
Mm.
oof. No, but I genuinely don't disagree with you about the karma vote.
Yeah,
Um,
congratulations to Jenny and Jordan. Y'all did y'all thing.
yes,
Deserved
J
it. Jenny,
squared,
if I had
yes.
150K to give you, girl, I'll cut the check, but I ain't got it.
Oh, and sorry, Miss Deal. I was actually
uh,
really sad as
Michelle, I wouldn't have gained you anything. You know, I'd be sad for you, but I wouldn't have gave you no
I
50
wanted
thou.
Tori to get third or second place.
Yeah, Tori, eat that. Fuck off, pussy. I'm gonna delete that,
Okay,
but
that was a lot
I'm
even
not
for
sad for
you.
Tori Deal at all. Like I can't even celebrate.
Okay.
Like the issue with the karma is I can't even celebrate the Tori loss. I'm so pissed. I couldn't even clown Tori in this episode.
You
Like,
being mad you can't celebrate
damn.
somebody's demise.
This is one of the best seasons for me as a Tory Deal hater. Like, and I can't even talk. Like,
Oh, I really wish you were caught up on the traders because this energy would be very interesting to see translated into this first episodes of the traders.
Tori, you got what you deserved. Nothing. Zero. Zilch.
Oh,
Nada.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Hold that. I just wish you
Okay.
would have gotten eliminated before the final.
Oh, well,
I wish like Olivia was here or something, but
oh.
I mean,
You
and I
know
don't
what?
even like Olivia's ass no more, but I wish she was here. I would
When they were
don't want
doing
to change.
the montage of the karma points, I was again completely surprised at several people's faces. I was like, I don't remember you at all.
I just
So,
oh god. I
well,
What are your
so,
final thoughts? Take take us out.
oof. It was okay. I mean, let me say something better than that. I just feel like it was kind of anticlimactic. Like the episode itself was anticlimactic
Facts.
to the rest of the season, and definitely anticlimactic to the first part of the final itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I felt like Jordan. I can't remember what my actual predictions were, but I pretty sure that I said I felt like Jordan was going to run away with it. That made sense to me. I did want Tori to place, and I think I said I wanted Michelle to be fourth. I can't remember,
Mm-hmm.
but I just felt like Jordan was going to run away with it, and he does. So I wanted. Well, I didn't think Highland was going to do any better with the swimming on day two, especially that tired. But I didn't want Bananas to get anything, so I was a little bit mad about that. But
I mean, he
other
got 25,000. Like it honestly, it probably cost him money to go here. He could have made that on appearances or.
do they get? No, they
Mm-hmm.
get paid per episode, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
he probably
Okay.
has one of the higher pays, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's completely
He
fair. I
he
just
probably
want.
could have went and done like Don Deer or some other reality show or like done Villains or something again. Um,
What is
and
villains?
House of Villains
Oh, is that on Peacock?
somewhere.
I think I saw it a few days ago. Um, no, that was pretty much it. I mean, literally, my main thought is that day two was anticlimactic.
On that note, do you have an MVP for us? An MVP?
Uh,
A MVP?
not to reactivate you, but Jenny.
Eh,
Yeah. I feel like yeah, not obviously the Rachel
I
Tyler
mean,
character
I
was
agree with
annoying,
that.
but
I like Jenny is
yeah.
the rightful and sole winner of season 40 for sure.
That's why I said I
Um,
didn't want to
the
reactivate you.
wiki pages might not reflect that, and the history books might not, but our hearts will reflect
Yes,
the
Mariama.
record correctly.
The saying is usually the sun, the moon, the truth, and here it is: the sun, the moon, Mariama's opinion. That is that is the actual truth of the matter in this situation. And I, seeing no other season of the challenge and having no other context, agree.
Yeah, big facts.
Yes.
Any other thoughts? Any final thoughts on the episode?
No, I will say final thought for my first season of the challenge. I rather do enjoy it. I found myself, I think I texted you this, that I found myself actually like excited for like the last, honestly, probably the last few episodes of the season. Like I was like excited to sit down and watch them. So from knowing zilch to the chat about the challenge to watching all of the season, I rather do like it.
All right.
Hmm.
Well, that's been us. That's been the challenge season 40, Battle of the Errors. We have our new champions. Shout out to them. And I think we'll
Who are
be
the
seeing you
champions,
guys.
Mariama?
I don't remember actually. We'll be seeing you guys for All Stars 5, which is going to
Hmm.
be a rival season. I don't know how I feel about that yet. We'll see how it plays.
That
But stay
depends.
tuned for our reaction to the cast.
Hmm.
Maddie's going to give predictions and rank and give us some winner picks for the
Oh
All Star cast
gosh, I'll do
based
my best.
on only the information that I strategically share with her.
I kind of want you to just give me pictures, like no other information at all.
We can do that too.
I
But
would love that.
thank you guys. If you like this video, make sure to like the video and please check out the playlist in the description below for the rest of our recaps on the seasons of the challenge.
Hmm.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.